Good evening, you're watching News Mongolia on MNB World, and I'm your host, Irtandala Einkamachlan. On the News Mongolia today, the first President of Mongolia, Punsalmaa Ochirbat, passes away at 82. Mongolia and France sign a historic uranium project investment agreement. Mongolia and the Republic of Türkiye to boost cooperation. For other news, stay tuned. Mongolia is mourning the loss of its first president, Punsalmaa Ochirbat, who passed away on Friday in Ulaanbaatar at the age of 82. Ochirbat, who served as president from 1990 to 1997, was a pivotal figure in Mongolia's transition to democracy. Mongolia is mourning the loss of its first president, Punsalmaa Ochirbat, who passed away on Friday in Ulaanbaatar at the age of 82. Ochirbat, who served as president from 1990 to 1997, was a pivotal figure in Mongolia's transition to democracy. After the resignation of Jambim Batmuch and other government leaders following the 1990 Democratic Revolution, Ochirbat was named chairman of the Presidium of the People's Great Horol on March 21, 1990. The 1992 Constitution of Mongolia marked a significant turning point, renaming the country to Mongolia and updating Ochirbat's title to President of Mongolia and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. It also set the stage for Mongolia's first direct presidential election in 1993. On January 17th, the government of Mongolia and the French Republic's uranium mining signed an investment agreement to advance a collaborative uranium project, marking a significant milestone for Mongolia's mining sector. The signing ceremony brought together high-ranking officials from both nations.
Representing Mongolia was Chief of the Cabinet Secretary Ochirbat, Minister of Finance Jochlanbolt, Minister of Industry and Mineral Resources Towan Tivigdorch, and CEO of Irdens Mongolia Naranzocht Sanja. French participants included Minister Delegate for Foreign Trade and French nationals abroad Laurent Samartin, CEO of Orano Group Nicolas Maillet, CEO of Orano Mining Xavier Samartin-Tillet, and CEO of Batrach Energy Marc Milliard. The agreement was signed in the presence of Mongolian Prime Minister Erdogan and Minister Laurent Samartin, who also delivered remarks.
The project is unique in that the revenue from the project will be directly deposited to citizens' savings account through the National Wealth Fund's Savings Fund from the moment the project is launched, without waiting for dividends in accordance with the law on the National Wealth Fund. This investment agreement proves to countries that the law on the National Wealth Fund does not restrict investors, but rather provides a legal environment that ensures citizen participation and support for large projects through mutually beneficial deals. Today we are signing a historic agreement enriched with new content and vigor. The Dzogch Awa deposit is one of the top 10 major uranium deposits in the world. This deposit will certainly make Mongolia a large new player in the global uranium market. It will also provide a vital boost to the economic and social development of Darno province and Mongolia as a whole.
Traditionally reliant on mineral resources like coal, copper concentrate, and precious metals, Mongolia's export economy is poised for a significant boost with the launch of the Dzogch Awa uranium project. This initiative marks a new chapter for the nation's export portfolio. Despite initial misinformation and public concerns about the dangers of uranium, the project has been carefully designed to prioritize safety and sustainability. With a capacity of 93.3 thousand tons, the deposit is set to be developed over a 45-year period from 2025 to 2017 with $1.6 billion investment. The project's key economic benefits include an annual profit of $134 million, a 51% profit margin, and a projected net profit of $5 billion. The project will also introduce water recycling measures supporting sustainable environmental practices. In terms of socio-economic impact, the project is expected to generate 1,600 new jobs and contribute $44 million to a local development fund, fostering growth in Dornogov province and the surrounding regions.
The agreement stipulates that if the profit margin falls below 51%, the investors and implementing company will be required to compensate the government by paying an additional fee or covering the shortfall to ensure the profit margin meets the 51% threshold. We are committed to working together to reduce carbon dioxide emissions, and this project offers Mongolia a remarkable opportunity to emerge as a significant player in the atomic energy sector. Furthermore, this initiative will stimulate economic growth and development. The investment agreement ensures a 51% profit margin for the Mongolian side, reflecting the equitable and mutually beneficial nature of our partnership.
The event was attended by Deputy Prime Ministers of Mongolia Dorchant Togmut and Amarsahan Samboying, along with other senior officials, reflecting the importance of the agreement. The partnership underscores Mongolia's growing role in the global mining industry and sets a precedent for international collaboration in natural resources.
At the invitation of President Recep Tayyip Erdogan of the Republic of Türkiye, President Hulusi Okhna of Mongolia conducted a state visit to Türkiye from January 15th through 19th.
As part of the visit, the two nations signed 11 cooperation documents to strengthen and expand bilateral relations. A key highlight of the visit was the signing of a joint declaration on establishing a strategic partnership between Mongolia and Türkiye. Mongolia and Türkiye have had a comprehensive partnership since 2004. This state visit marked a significant milestone as the two countries upgraded their relations to a strategic partnership. Mongolia now holds strategic partnerships with 9 nations, underscoring its growing diplomatic engagements.
Turkey is a key trade partner for Mongolia, fostering robust economic cooperation and paving the way for new projects. Notable initiatives include the development of New Kharkhorum City, the Arkham Valley Tourism Complex, and the construction of the new Kharkhorum Airport, which aim to enhance connectivity and promote regional tourism. The 2004 Comprehensive Partnership has now been elevated to a strategic partnership, marking a significant milestone in bilateral relations. We are committed to supporting businesses from both countries in collaborating on major joint projects to further strengthen this partnership.
We are also discussing an upcoming visit to Mongolia by the President of Türkiye, which is also a rare diplomatic event. In addition, the two sides discussed cooperation to establish a new oncology center. Officials have announced both sides have agreed to collaborate on investment and staff training for the new oncology center. Discussions are also underway regarding the possibility of establishing a new railway corridor connecting Europe to Mongolia via Turkey, further enhancing regional connectivity.
Now let's take a look at currency exchange rates provided by the Mongol Bank. Now let's shift our attention to foreign news provided by our international partner news agencies. The outgoing U.S. ambassador to the United Nations says she watched America's leadership diminish in the world body and internationally during Donald Trump's first presidency and saw China fill the vacuum. And Linda Thomas Greenfield warned that if it happens again in Trump's second presidency, adversaries will move in again.
In a wide-ranging final interview with the Associated Press, she said that during Joe Biden's presidency, the United States again engaged with the world, rebuilt alliances with NATO and others, and re-established America's leadership. She has also spoken with former Republican Alice Stefanik, who is President-elect Donald Trump's pick for a UN ambassador.
From my vantage point, and I think you may have heard the president's speech at the State Department on Monday, we achieved our goal. We did re-engage the world. We did rebuild our alliances. We reestablish our leadership. We re-engage and really strengthen our relationships with our NATO partners. I did have a very brief meeting with Representative Stefanik, and I know her from previous work. We were both on the National Endowment for Democracy Board together. And my advice is, I think, not surprising, and that is that the UN is important, and that it is important that we not cede any space to our adversaries. If we cede space, it will be filled by our adversaries. They will change the rules of the road. And so U.S. leadership is extraordinarily important. The UN, of course, is not perfect. There are issues in the UN. There are reforms that are needed, and I hope that she will take those reforms and work on those reforms, but take what we've left behind and build on that.
Supporters of impeached President Yoon Suk-yeol stormed a Seoul court early Sunday following his decision to formally arrest Yoon. After 8 hours of deliberation, the Seoul Western District Court granted law enforcement's request for an arrest warrant for Yoon, saying he was a threat to destroy evidence.
Yoon and his lawyers on Saturday appeared before the court and argued for his release. The decision to arrest Yoon triggered unrest at the Seoul Western District Court, where dozens of his supporters broke in and rioted, destroying the main door and windows. They used plastic chairs, metal beams, and police shields that they managed to wrestle away from officers. Some were seen throwing objects and using fire extinguishers, destroying furniture and glass doors. They shouted demands to see the judge who had issued the warrant, but she had already left. Yoon, who has been in detention since he was apprehended Wednesday in a massive law enforcement operation at his residential compound, faces potential rebellion charges linked to his declaration of martial law on December 3rd, which set off the country's most serious political crisis since the democratization in the late 1980s.
The Association of Southeast Asian Nations kicked off its retreat on Sunday with the arrival of foreign ministers for the opening ceremony in Malaysia's Langkawi Island. ASEAN is made up of Brunei, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, the Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam. An 11th country, East Timor, is set to join soon.
Established in 1967, its goal is to promote regional economic and security cooperation, leveraging a combined population of more than 650 million people with a GDP of more than $3 trillion. ASEAN emphasizes non-interference and personal diplomacy, and its breadth of membership and partnerships makes it uniquely positioned as a forum to address major geopolitical issues. As well as China and the US, ASEAN has formal relationships with Russia, India, Australia, the European Union, Britain, Japan, South Korea, and many others.
One frequently asked question relates to the incoming US presidency and how this will shape the dynamics of the region in the years to come. Our region has become a site of concentrated superpower competition. Embedded in this tension is the unspoken truth. That this has only happened because, as I said earlier, we hold massive potential. Our highly geostrategic position, our cultural versatility, and our collective economic weight. This is clear to see, and we hope that incoming leaders of our dialogue partners nations will take note of the increasingly important part we play and engage with us diplomatically and open-mindedly. It is a role that we must play ourselves. We are the speakers and not the spoken word.
The ASEAN nations are also central to the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, or RCEP, a free trade agreement that was signed in 2020, creating the largest trade bloc in history. Conceived at ASEAN's 211th summit, the agreement includes commitments on trade in goods and services, investments, and other areas. The 10 nations plus China, Japan, South Korea, Australia, and New Zealand account for more than 30% of the world's population and about 30% of global GDP.
Well, that's all for today. Thank you for staying with us. We'll see you tomorrow with more news and updates. Goodbye.